David Moyes came within 6 minutes of a tactical masterclass. Yet even a fine, late equaliser from Heung-Min Son could not hide the fact that this was another cracking result for West Ham's new manager. Son Heung-min snatched a point with a wicked strike from distance, and this proved yet again that the fabled West Ham way is a load of old nonsense. Because even if Moyes' team plays as defensively as they did, the fans will be happy if Pedro Obiang scores absolute stunning goals like his effort against Spurs. When Obiang scored from 30 yards, West Ham's fans rejoiced in singing, "We've only had one shot." As they continued to frustrate the hell out of Tottenham, it looked as though they could continue the fine record here with all 3 points. Son silenced the visiting fans with his long-ranged effort. Pedro Obiang stunned Wembley with a scorcher. There is certainly no doubt West Ham enjoy playing at Wembley more than Spurs. While Son scored, it was still an unsatisfactory point for Tottenham, who should have made changes earlier once West Ham's tactics were clear. Moyes, though, will have been delighted. On current form, there is no way this team will be near the relegation places come May. For West Ham, Declan Rice delivered yet another performance of great promise, and Heung-Min put in a decent shift. Pedro Obiang celebrates scoring a stunner against the London rivals. Obiang's teammates mobbed the unlikely goalscorer after his rocket. Pedro Obiang scores a long-distance goal of the season. Contender for West Ham against Tottenham. Spurs struggled to break West Ham down, and with the visitors looking as though they were happy for a draw, Spurs did not need both Eric Dier and Moussa Sissoko in defensive midfield. The crowd was also just over 50,000, 5,000 less than the previous last gate for a Premier League game. Due to problems with the London Underground, the crowd was about 60% of what it should have been at kick-off. Harry Kane, Serge Aurier and Sissoko returned to the Spurs lineup following the 2-0 win at Swansea. So hardly surprisingly, Mauricio Pochettino went for his strongest lineup in contrast to the Carabao Cup game against West Ham. Pochettino's decision to field a weakened team in the Cup was a costly decision and a stupid one. Kane caused problems from early on, poking an effort to cross the goal which was cleared by 18-year-old Rice, who is rightly becoming a fan's favourite. Harry Kane struggled for clear-cut opportunities as West Ham's defence held firm. Adrian, having booted Joe Hart out of the team, was guilty of some abysmal handling which presented a chance to Davinson Sanchez, but his shot was blocked. Andy Carroll and Marco Arnautovic, who helped the team beat West Brom 2-1 48 hours earlier, both started on the bench. For West Ham, that win was improvement on the 3-3 draw at Bournemouth on Boxing Day, which saw referee Bobby Madley allowed Callum Wilson to level in injury time even though he was offside and used his hand. Madley ignored the flag of Simon Long, and the same official was running the line at Wembley. Keeper Adrian mistook Heung-Min's head for the ball. He raised his flag to rule out a deflected strike into the net from Kane, but the England striker was offside. Kane and Heung-Min Son forced saves from Adrian, and Tottenham took control without bullying the rivals. West Ham's keeper delivered the best save of night just before the break when he tipped over a decent strike from Christian Eriksen, whose shot took a deflection off Angel Ogbonna. It was as we were in the second half, Spurs doing all the attacking, and while forcing plenty of blocks and decent tackles from the visitors, were unable to break them down. Pablo Zabaleta should consider himself fortunate to avoid conceding a penalty when he seemed to take a yank at Kane's arm, but the right-back later delivered a stunning tackle to stop Spurs' star man. Son Heung-min replies to Pedro Obiang's goal with an amazing long-range effort himself. David Moyes will certainly be the happier of the two managers at full-time. Interactive stats. Click on the categories to find out how the teams fared. Still, West Ham rarely threatened, and when the lightweight Javier Hernandez did find himself clean through, he did not have the speed or determination to cause any problems and predictably lost the ball. He was eventually replaced by Andre Ayew. West Ham player Arthur Masuaku, who shows off amazing wing skills to embarrass Tottenham late on. West Ham did not look any more likely to manage a shot, let alone one on target, before Obiang delivered a goal of unbelievable class which simply did not belong in this awful game. Arthur Masuaku and Manuel Lanzini combined, yet when Obiang received the ball, there still seemed no danger. Eriksen failed to close the player down and the rest of the defense backed off. Interactive stats. Click on a player's number below to see the stats. Dele Alli almost won it to the death, but his header went over the bar, yet they would not have expected Obiang to deliver a thunderbolt from distance which went through Sanchez's legs. Hugo Lloris did not stand a chance. Immediately, Pochettino brought on Eric Lamela and Victor Wanyama and then Fernando Llorente. 7 minutes later, Son also scored a cracking goal. Lamela passed to Son, Noble turned his back, the South Korean international picked his spot with a well-executed strike. Ayun forced a good save from Lloris, but predictably, it was West Ham who were left hanging on. It was not pretty, but those fans in the away end did not care less when they celebrated another decent result against the Premier League team they hate the most. Andy Carroll is our player of the week after 2 important goals for West Ham against West Brom.